What's up, guys? We're doing something different today. So if you're a returning viewer coming for some of the comedy reactions we do, this won't be that video, but stick around because I think I'm excited to learn what I'm going to learn and love for you to be a part of it. And if you're a newcomer, because of what we're reacting to today, welcome. And if you have any other recommendations of stuff to watch, please send them my way. This series is called Learning from the Treadmill. Again, point of my channel is we do various things while walking on the treadmill, trying to promote us to move around some more and make sure the amount of time we waste on playing video games, watching crap on YouTube, hopefully it's not at the detriment of our health. And the reason we're checking this out is because I used to be, quite liberal isn't the right word because the way liberal is used today in America is messed up. I don't know how else to say it, but I used to be the equity guy. Was always sensitive to poverty and things as such because of places I've lived and whatnot. And honestly, I felt like I was told a lot that I should be very angered about all that stuff. But over time, I started reading people like Thomas Sowell and recognized how, although we can have good intent in trying to fix some things, sometimes trying to fix those things ends up making them worse and ends up producing even more of that thing we are trying to prevent. And that's just, unfortunately, a reality of life. Some people take exercise, for example, to the extreme of it being detrimental to their health, right? We see this everywhere. And reading Thomas Sowell, I realized he learned under Milton Friedman. And because right now in America, the minimum wage is going up,
always.
I wanted to learn. So that's what we're checking out today, Milton Friedman on minimum wage. And let's see what we learn, man. You guys have other stuff you want me to watch or for this series? Send them my way. We're all just trying to become better people here. All right. This is my first time ever listening to Milton Friedman speak, so I'm pretty excited. I've been becoming familiar with the name. This is going to be good.
Because the fact is that the programs that are labeled as being for the poor, for the needy, almost always have effects exactly the opposite of those which their well-intentioned sponsors intend them to have.
As an example, what are you referring to?
Let me give you a very simple example. Take the minimum wage law. It's well-meaning sponsors. There are always in these cases two groups of sponsors. There are the well-meaning sponsors, and there are the special interests who are using the well-meaning sponsors as front men. You almost always, when you have bad programs, have an unholy coalition of the do-gooders on the one hand and the special interests on the other. The minimum wage law is as clear a case as you could want. The special interests are, of course, the trade unions, the monopolistic craft trade unions in particular. The do-gooders believe that by passing a law saying that nobody shall get less than $2 an hour or $2.50 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is, you are helping poor people who need the money. You are doing nothing of the kind. What you are doing is to assure that people whose skills are not sufficient to justify that kind of a wage will be unemployed. It is no accident that the teenage unemployment rate, the unemployment rate among teenagers in this country, is over twice as high as the overall unemployment rate. It's no accident that that was not always the case. Until the 1950s, when the minimum wage rate was raised very drastically, very quickly, teenage unemployment was higher than ordinary unemployment because, of course, the teenagers are the ones who are just coming into the labor market. They're searching and finding jobs, and it's understandable that on the average they would have be unemployed more. But it was nothing like the extraordinary level it has now reached. It's close to 20%. Why? Because the minimum wage law is most properly described as a law saying employers must discriminate against people who have low skills. That's what the law says. The law says.
Let's chew on that. I want to chew on that for a sec. So, okay, yeah, I've read and been studying economics. And yeah, I can't find an example where this hasn't happened. And he says something good that hits me too. It's like there's so much good and positive intent in that. But there are, unfortunately, I mean, it's just the sad reality that all of us are then ultimately selfish, right? All of us. And yeah, if I were an employer who had $50 to employ and I had 10 workers and paying them $5 an hour, and if that minimum wage was raised to 10, I could only employ 5 people. And of course, I'm going to find the best ones. Like, of course. Life can be unfair that way, huh? Like, there's all these problems we want to solve, but sometimes trying to makes them worse. Frick. And so we're wanting to impose a minimum wage law now, where unemployment's already increased because of lockdown. Yeah. Okay. I mean, let's hope it miraculously doesn't happen, and we prove that what it's almost seeming as a law wrong, a law of the universe. I mean, right? Let's prove it wrong. Let's keep going.
It says here's a man who has a skill which would justify a wage rate of $1.50, $2 an hour. You may not employ him. It's illegal, because you have to. If you employ him, you have to pay him $2.50. Well, what's the result? To employ him at $2.50 is to engage in charity. Now, there's nothing wrong with charity, but most employers are not in a position where they can engage in that kind of charity. Thus, the consequences of minimum wage rates have been almost wholly bad, to increase unemployment and to increase poverty. Moreover, the effects have been concentrated on the groups that the do-gooders would most like to help. The people who have been hurt most by minimum wage laws are the blacks. I have often said that the most anti-Negro law on the books of this land is the minimum wage rate. And so I think the real answer to your question is...
Sorry, I'm pausing there, and he's probably going to say something really good there, but can you all comment down below on your thoughts on that? I feel like he's trying to be very state of the fact on his opinion, and I'd like to start some dialogue on that.
That you must not judge a bottle solely by its label. You have to look at what's inside and see what the law or the measure produces.
If one looked at the label, though, and perhaps one of those government regulations that you would look askance at is that we look at labels. If one looked at the label and identified the objective of minimum wages, are there no positive, legitimate objectives achieved by minimum wage?
None whatsoever. In my opinion, there is absolutely no positive objective achieved by minimum wages. Its real purpose is to reduce competition for the trade unions and make it easier for them to maintain the wages of their privileged members higher than...
So this is where my thought went, and maybe we'll just end at this, because we all came to listen to Milton Friedman, not me. I think about lockdown last year and how many small businesses went out of business because of the positive, quote-unquote, desirable thing to reduce COVID death for security. But the folks that were then exempted from those or given some sort of regulation or some sort of way to continue to employ people and work were the bigger corporations, like your Targets, your Walmarts. They benefited from the lockdown. We tried to protect the people who needed protecting. Dude, I'm just glad I'm not a freaking politician, but holy smokes, do I recognize how complicated problems are. And it kind of makes me a little unsettled that I feel like we're preoccupying ourselves with things that are more distractions because these problems are so difficult. We're talking about stupid stuff. All right, well, that's a weird video to post on YouTube, but I'm posting it anyway. Thanks for watching. If you did watch, comment down below your thoughts. Talk about that amongst yourselves. I'll try to chime in as much as I can. And if you want to message me and talk to me directly, just follow me on Instagram, sebs.duran. Check out the links down below. And make sure you check out some of our other playlists, our Norm Macdonald playlist, our comedy playlist. But this was awesome. Send me some over your stuff. Send me some recommendations my way. I want to learn. I want to learn and encourage you all to learn while getting your exercise in. All right, peace out.